I'm Chief Meteorologist Jacqueline Bennett in the KRON 4 Weather Center with this forecast update. Lots of new record temperatures out there today. In fact, 12 locations either tied or broke a previous record. You see them highlighted here with the stars on the screen. 3 locations not listed, though: SFO, downtown Oakland, and Mountain View. So we were in the 90s out there today, 80s at the coast. Tomorrow, the sea breeze wind kicks back in, so it's still going to be hot inland, but it will be cooler at the coast and also inside the bay. By Friday, the cooling spreads throughout the entire Bay Area as the fog returns, and dramatic cooling expected as we head into the weekend. We'll look at that here in just a moment. First, temperatures out the door for your Thursday, running in the 60s for the most part. As we move into the noon hour, it's going to be slower to warm than what we saw today. 70s and 80s for the most part, so still on the warm side, but you'll notice fewer of the 90-degree readings in the places that are going to hit 90s by noon are going to be in the low 90s. In fact, we're going to stay in the low 90s out there tomorrow for all the areas you see highlighted in red here. So mainly in the 70s and 80s with a few 90s mixed in. Let's get a look at the numbers starting at the coastline, where temperatures will be in the low 70s. So not too bad, actually pretty comfortable. 77 in San Francisco, 80s down the peninsula. For the East Bay shoreline will be in the 80s as well. It'll be 85 in San Leandro, 82 in Richmond, 84 in Hayward. For our inland valleys, no triple digits, no upper 90s really, just the low 90s for the most part. 93 in Pittsburgh, Concord, 90 in Orinda, 94 in Pleasanton. The South Bay running in the 90s as well. Today, we actually hit 102 in Morgan Hill. Tomorrow, 96 degrees. 95 in Los Gatos, 92 in Sunnyvale, just 89 in Mountain View. And the North Bay running in the 80s for the most part, actually. Low 90s in Sonoma and Napa, but 80s all the way up Highway 101. Now, as we look ahead, it's going to be much cooler into the next several days. Tomorrow, as we talked about, still kind of warm for our inland valleys and away from the coastline. Temperatures in the 90s, even the upper 80s. But into Friday, we'll be back in the 70s and low 80s, about a 10-degree drop, and we'll continue to cool as we head into the weekend. So let's take a look at those numbers here in your extended forecast. Still hot tomorrow, but no records. By Friday, the cooling extends throughout the entire Bay Area, and by Saturday and Sunday, the low clouds and fog really taking over. Temperatures dropping into the 60s and 70s. It's going to be even cooler by Monday. Next week, though, we will start a gradual warming trend with temperatures more comfortable in the 70s and even the low 80s.